Thank you.
I can't find the blouse for this cord. My roommate is looking suspicious. He's not sure where he last stuck his sword. So bring back, could you bring back, oh bring back these con things to me, to me. Bring back, won't you bring back, oh bring back my con things to me. So the board members all disappeared, did they? Rude. You know that the staff's gonna find them. Those con things that all disappeared. If no one at con comes to claim them, they'll just lie in Pete's basement for years. Yes, unclaimed con things just lie in Pete's basement for years, for years. Unclaimed con things just lie in Pete's basement for years. So could you bring back, won't you bring back, oh bring back these con things to me, to me. Bring back, won't you bring back, oh bring back these con things to me. Thank you. And now it's supposed to be closing ceremonies. Welcome to closing ceremonies. Hopefully people for that will get on stage soon. I guess in the meantime we can get a new throwing fire around.
Someone play Hellfire. Hellfire later.
Sorry, they're back home.
It's gotta leave through the fire exit.
He's sure I definitely ate several slices.
Throw it out into the crowd and we'll punch it around.
14 years.
Seriously, I mean, start with oh, yes, thank you for coming. Like, load out. Put any time into load out. Yes.
Yeah, yesterday. You say we figured it out. You figured it out.
Well, I basically just ran up and down the stairs because I'm on the elevator situation with these sort of thick stairs. Hey, when you could be ready to load out. Okay, good. Let's move on. Next person. When you could be ready to load out. That was load out for today.
Oh, speaking of the elevators, were you guys happy with the several $1 million elevator renovation?
Yes. Put a few more million in hotel. We'll catch you later.
I couldn't tell they were renovated.
On Thursday, when we got here, obviously we were having problems, and there was one working. One was completely down, and one just kind of doing a random thing. So he said, hey, we normally, last week we used a service elevator to make sure that we weren't impacting the other guests and things like that. And like, oh, that one was scheduled for maintenance this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever bitten your tongue off in the lobby of a hotel in downtown Pittsburgh? Because I was not thrilled about the scheduled maintenance situation. But
That sounds like a discount.
kind of really understood what it was going to look like. How did you guys feel up there? Did it go a little better? Maybe more maps?
Maybe some arrows at the
elevator.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we realized as we're walking through is that when the maps look great when they're on the screen, but when you're standing in the place and the map doesn't match the orientation from where you're standing, you're like,
You and I had that problem a couple of times.
yeah, so there's a few things that
You are your dogs are liars.
yeah, we noticed that. We thought maybe people had moved them.
I'm looking around this room to heckle the person who put up the signs, but they're busy doing actual work, packing up the stuff, so we're not going to do that. Let's see. We added the,
So we talked about in the previous panel too, like, and the overall content. Obviously, there were things that had to come back, such as cats. We had a lot of cancellations within the last few weeks. Our first, like for gaming, Top Deck has been with us for years. They had some challenges, and then Phantom of the Attic, for those that are local, they were going to try, and then snow happened, and then they couldn't, and then, so we had a lot of scrambling like that over the last, 12 days. And it seemed, or appeared to be seamless at the very least. A lot of juggling.
if it appeared to any of you that we knew what we were doing, then you're confused. In all seriousness, there was a lot of last minute juggling. I'll use the cats as an example. We worked with one rescue that's come to a couple of techos. They were here last year at Sangawa, and very close to the show, they became indisposed. We'll say. I'm pretty sure. Yes. So we needed to find a different group of folks, but most of the rescue and relax cat cafe. We were going back and forth with them on how many hours they could actually support being here, and I didn't realize until we got here this weekend. I figured, they have people that are paid to work in the cafe. No, none of them are paid at all. The only thing that they spend money on is taking care of the cats and paying the rent of the space. So they weren't able to be here as long as some of the other groups, but I think it still went over pretty well, right?
We actually had a couple extra rooms this year. So for those who remember last year on the 7th floor, our doors were just locked. That's because they were full of construction materials and random things like that. So we added a little more, like gaming side, for example, had some extra space, and it was used a little more creatively.
Cats and I'm meeting them. It's like she was hoarding them. She had many, many cats.
They have been provided to different shelters. Okay. Take care of all of that.
Are they coming for tickets? I know what bench.
We'll
Okay. At the very least, the layout currently has dedicated space for cats and ferrets.
How many of you would like to learn how to volunteer for rescue and relax?
So interestingly enough, we had a significant increase in the number of people that were here, but based on what we learned last year, we moved some things around and shifted a couple things. It never seemed too busy. There were times where like, you had to wait, wait for an elevator, wait to get down the hall. There were a few bottlenecks and things like that, but overall it seemed like the flow was good. And the way that we spaced out what
Just, by the way, I will take this moment to say, no, you cannot just show up with a snake. Maybe that no one did that this year. I didn't have to have any meetings about who is going to tell this person that you can't just bring a snake on the seat.
They wanted to break box.
There was more than one? It's a good thing people don't tell me this.
Snakes were fun last year. They were. Snakes. Come on.
It's not that the snakes weren't fun, it's that they didn't pay $65 to be here.
Hotel staff may not like snakes. So if a snake pays $65 can be here, right?
It's got to be able to wear the badge.
It has to be 18 plus.
As long as the snake is 18 years old.
And snakes have a valid form of ID.
Container.
Snakes are underage though.
What else? Oh, yay! We had actually really yay. For those who may not have had the opportunity, there was just an informal meet and greet during breakfast. He decided he wanted to partake of the breakfast in the morning, and we're like, well, there's random attendees. There's you don't have a private table. It's like, oh, I'm okay with that. We're like, oh, okay. So he basically breakfast was like a 2-hour meet and greet. You know, people just kind of hanging out at his table and stuff. So, but he was super.
We should have stayed longer.
Really, it was great. Our roster should be. So I'm like, oh yeah, yes, absolutely, yeah.
I was unsure how it was going to go when. So what is this panel that he's going to? Oh, I don't know. He said he's just going to go in there and it's going to become what it's going to become. So it became pretty good.
What did you guys say?
Sorry.
No.
I had an idea I wanted to possibly pitch for next year.
We'll take it.
Like, you know how the food they had in the tasting camp? Let's bring that to the social.
I would like to do social snacks, anything.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like ramen
Yeah.
cups, I think that would be even better. Like make shit ramen, yes.
So there's first traffic. That's one thing. We do allow more people into social, obviously, because it's social. So location, we're gonna have to take tables out. Logistically, it's possible.
Well,
maybe.
are we
But
talking about hot food? Are we talking about, bar food, peanuts and chips and snacks, crackers?
Yeah, like maybe like open it, but like have like some hot yeah, sure.
Lunchables.
Adult lunch.
To be honest, if we did food through the hotel, it is cost prohibitive. Truthfully, it's not necessarily financially viable. It's quite expensive for a very small amount, so it's hard to accommodate as many people. But it's not like there aren't some things we can do to improve the offering. The other thing is too that we have to consider now, looking at the percentage of attendee growth. The space itself, we might outgrow. So we'll over the next few months, like we always want to try and have Sangawa locked in before TECO, but we will be exploring some other options as far as larger spaces with more meeting space, larger hotels, because we actually had some challenges here where because of the other events that were going on, there weren't any more rooms left. So people tried to book in their hotel at the last minute and they couldn't get a room and they just passed that.
I
Yeah,
am
so
waiting.
just to like follow up on that, how possible would it be to go back to the jury again? I know he said he was gonna have about some
Yeah.
The jury wanted us to go back there so badly that at one point, we don't have enough space. I'm walking into the room that we were using for storage, and it was the manager's office.
Now, flip side of that is the jury is going over the next 2 years, but massive. Both this one and in Robinson are going over major renovations. We don't know what that translates to, so it's possible to do another one, but ultimately, even this space here, as much as we have, we're gonna outgrow it. Like, if you just think about it, another 100 people would be really tight, even in, no, we may have the space inside the rooms, but just get into the halls. We'd be penguins. Is that? So, and we, big reveal. I mean, honestly, so just right around the corner, the Merrimack City Center, it would be more expensive, but their meeting space is laid out very well, and they've got a lot more of it. Like, another option which some people will, well, at the Wyndham, truthfully, and the meeting space is
What
good.
did you just say? Hey, listen, it's only been 12 years. I wonder if they finally finished building the fucking staircase.
For those who don't know, before Techno went into the Convention Center, it was a hotel con, and it was the last hotel that we partnered with was the Wyndham, and it was a very bad experience. Now, in its defense, the entire management staff is completely turned over. Yeah, it looks like they'll be easier work. So again, it's a consideration. Now we've also have a great partnership with Visit Pittsburgh and a lot of the things, and one of the suggestions they made, which have no idea if it's financially viable, they recommended the casino. And apparently it does. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, what?
It's a part of the same building.
Yeah, so it's connected, and apparently there's a ton of meeting space. So
Of course, everything.
So the point being is that the city itself has grown in a lot of ways where there might be some potential options. Financial viability is the biggest one for Sangawa, you guys. For those who were here in the last panel, numbers are difficult with Sangawa because it's small. We don't want to nickel and dime people or raise it to, and Justin says, if we get these numbers, if we charge like $142, like, so it's just finding that balance.
Could the Westin possibly be another venue to look at?
The Westin's actually just cost prohibitive, and it is because it's attached.
It's probably the most expensive
Yeah.
hotel in the area. Although that's not personally why I don't want to go to the Westin. They don't have a loading dock of any kind. Everything.
Which is not a good way to do it. We even one point looked at doing it in the Westin Ballroom, except that getting the ring up to it was the amount of labor that would have been required to get it to the ballroom, which was what if we could just buy a whole other show, So, that's just it's the nature of our city and things like that. It's growing and it's getting way better than it was 20 years ago, but it's just a matter of finding those options. Okay.
So speaking of hotels and elevators and stuff, we noticed that obviously this isn't like your fault, like this is like the hotel's thing, but there's like the staircase to like get down here and to get to the parlor and all that, like that's like right after the arcade, like that staircase there. There's no ramp. There's like an elevator, like a wheelchair lift, but it wasn't working, or we couldn't get it to work.
Wasn't working again.
Yeah,
So
There's like enough. The thing is, like, there's enough room there for a ramp. Obviously, this.
you
know,
mean the
you
one that's
can't-
just out here?
Yeah, that one. It's like there's enough room for a ramp. Like this would be the hotel, but like, why can't they just build a ramp there?
Apparently, the issue, I think what is happening is earlier today, I ended up hefting this down the stairs instead of being able to use the lift, because apparently the door at the lower level wasn't shut correctly, so the upper side wouldn't function, which means it's a bad piece of equipment
Yeah.
for someone of accessibility who is alone.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't even think to go down to the bottom.
The hotel is
It should be a
very,
ramp.
very aware.
Like, I just still don't understand why they don't, I mean,
So-
I know building a ramp instead of stairs and an elevator would take up kill that lounge space, but.
No, there's a ton of space there. There's enough space like
Yeah,
to
so
go around.
it
It just
is
costs
in
money.
their long-term plans. Like, for those of you who may have had your elevator open, like on the 10th floor, for example, where they had an entire construction crew, or had a door that faced the park where you could hear the dumpster, stuff hitting the dumpster along the whole day. They're doing a lot of major renovations for this hotel. they've gone over new ownership, but one of the challenges over the last 2 years, they're actually on their third or fourth engineer. And so whenever they bring somebody new in, the priorities shift, and that just keeps pushing down the list. I mean, even their sales department, we not really have to see it.
Is still a long-standing problem that
It has been mentioned to them many. So.
Let's do some highlights of the stuff.
Oh yeah, like so. There's a guy, my guy, Moises. I don't know if you guys know Moises. He helps us with the breakfast. Older gentleman. Like I see him. We talk about our kids. It's really cool. But I got his. He looked at me like I was crazy. Like oh Moises, I got his name right. I'm like Moises Alou, the baseball. I'm showing my age. But and but he's just good. Like my background is in food service through school and things like that. I actually worked at a double tree in California and did banquet service. So as soon as he did all the things that I would have done if I were in his shoes, he's been like our guy. But he also does our Sunday night event at like our after party for staff and rock stars here. We do that here, and he's just our guy. Every time there's an event of ours, they get his points, and so there's been a lot of rotation around him, but he's just been here. But although he's 2 more years, he's just waiting for his daughter to graduate from that.
Speaking of shout outs to staff members of the hotel, right? I know it's gonna be a weird one, but huge thank you to the engineer who came up to our room last night to put tape over that damn blinking smoke detector.
Wait a minute.
I legitimately did not know this was an option, okay? If you have a smoke detector blinking in your room at this hotel, and you call the front desk, they will send someone up with tape to cover it for you! I'm just not gonna do that. I know, that was the thing, I had a terrible night because of the stupid cleaner. And I called down last night, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll send someone up to tape it. And I was like, thank God!
The person they just hired, and I had a chance to meet him some time ago, and he's local, but they poached him from
But either way, no.
another facility that didn't have a lot of problems. So
I just wanted to make it clear. If you need your blinky smoke detector covered, call the front desk and they will cover it for you so that you don't get in trouble, you don't break anything. Call them, they will cover it for you.
It's so nice. I'm learning at this moment that the smoke detector in my room was actually blinking, and I wasn't just too drunk.
But whoever invented the status light on wired in smoke detectors is an asshole.
Yeah.
So, I'm a big fan of not needing to touch my light switches, so I have the robots all over my house and talk to them, right? And of course, as a trade-off to that, Jeff Bezos tries to sell me things so that he can build another dick rocket. So, I get it and think, the batteries in your water sensor under the bathroom sink are low. Would you like to order new batteries? Sure, fine, whatever. So now, last week I'm getting stuff ready and it's going to be very cold, so I'm like making sure all the heaters are set up and everything because I'm not going to be home. And I realized that the smoke detector in the kitchen has a critically low battery. It's also hooked up to the robot. So why are they perfectly willing to sell me batteries and garbage bags for other stuff, but the smoke alarm, fixing the smoke alarm, that's not important.
They want that insurance money.
Hand over here.
So, for some of us, let's say we finish a panel, 1 a.m., we still want to hang out with people, but we don't want to make noise with them. Is there an option to have some sort of 24-hour social space from 6 or 7 or 8 this morning that I'm not aware of, so we're not bothering other guests, but we're still, like,
Or like even down here, like because that space we open like.
I guess there's nothing that stops us from keeping the space on 7 open other than do we run into a problem if it's open and there's not a lot of folks up there to make sure that the drunk folks are not touching
I mean, honestly, if you just open the door and use it, just don't tell us. Yeah, so the short answer is yes. It doesn't currently exist, but yes. I mean, it's just a matter. We would just have to notify the hotel that it's a end service. They would probably appreciate that.
I work in hotels, and noise complaints we all about, absolutely, and that's the last thing we want to do. And I thought maybe the hotel would like us more if we had a space where we could just be social somewhere other than our rooms and do it.
And to be honest, the events room is ideal because we could just reset it however we want it. I mean, we could throw some Cards Against Humanity on, things of that would be really simple just in after hours. Now there would not be sleeping allowed in the room, so absolutely find a spot under a table and close it.
We want it to be rooms that don't have tech or things that or whoever has stuff at board game room, like we don't want that.
Right.
But the meet up room one is a good option, the event space is a good option, and the rec room.
But there's definitely yes.
Can you explain to me why all the other rooms were numbered and then we had the rec room?
Because it was a rec room, there was recreational stuff in there was dance.
Actually,
Is the rest of this event not recreational?
see, no, wait a minute. You're
recreational
raising
golf.
I have kids.
It's like Google Play.
I'm aging out of pretty much everything except when we were doing the layout stuff, with meetups 1, meetups 2, and then we had that room on the 7th floor for our stuff, and I wanted to call it meetup 6, 7. And my 12-year-old thought that was wonderful, and then the rest of my team was like, dude, no. It's bad.
The news has brought up 6, 7.
But they gave us snake. I mean, lizard. Lizard. Lizard.
That's the point at which I started calling him Chat. Come on, Chat. What's next? My 12-year-old called me Chat the other day. No. But, okay, so let's wrap it a little back in. So, lots of good ideas. Guests were good. The museum, we called it like 12 different things. Yeah, that was neat. I thought that was fun.
I had no idea until they arrived and said, oh, we need a hand unloading some stuff. I had no idea how comprehensive their display was.
So again, lots of new stuff. Although we can segue. Guess, do you want to talk about guess? I just want to talk a little bit about tech. Do you want to do? I don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm allowed to talk about. How about we segue to tech? How about this? Can we have another Sangawa? Overall, good weekend. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I really just wanted to say that even though you were saying that there were more people here this year, I did not feel bad. It felt so comfortable. I never really felt crowded except for those few times in the elevators, but that's fine. So staff was great. The hotel was like the generals were coming. The staff at the hotel was great. So excellent experience. Another solid year. I already sent my extensive critique by email because I didn't want to hog any time here. But other than saying thank you to everybody who put this event on, it was another solid, amazing year. I had a great time. Can't wait to be back again. And yeah, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you to Rebecca and the other 4 of you that registered for this event on Sunday of Techo.
I just want to say, the sets. Keep the sets going.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
Abby,
So Abby's doing a couple things that'll be Techo exclusive. So, well, we'll get paired
Wait a minute now.
That contract's not
You
signed
wouldn't
yet.
let me commission a sinkhole bus backdrop? Now I need to pay?
I told her we need a truck chon. Oh, Coon. I thought it was Chon. Oh man, I even got it wrong.
Not only was the gaming room so fun and amazing, the people who teach Mahjong there, I was doing the same there, right? They're
We actually did have, in one of the rooms up on 7, we did have a round set up, or I'm sorry, a rectangle set up, or, right, geez, square table for mahjong. So there were quite a number of players that would migrate up there eventually, but it had already been suggested of some way of extending the hours or even after hours, you know, kind of stuff where a place you just kind of hang out and play where it's not necessarily parlor specific. So.
Did you feel there was enough content?
Always. Yes.
More.
Not enough content is a you problem. Okay. There is always too much content. I'm always having to pick and choose between things that I'm going to.
There was enough content that I went to one panel. Okay, I went to 2 panels.
What sounds better? If on Sunday we got like Pittsburgh Sports to do like a demo workshop or yoga or extended parlor hours? What do you think? A nice cleanse after the yoga.
Are we doing a survey?
Isn't that what we're doing now?
Katie sent me as I'm on the right.
So there will be a survey. So for additional feedback, we can do one more feedback.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So, once again, bringing wrestling content. So, there was the wrestling D&D group who was telling us like how it was and how they doing things and stuff. They would love to come back to Techo and do a show. And second of all, they loved it here. They enjoyed it here. The Wrestling Mayhem show enjoyed it here. And the Awesome Cast. If y'all don't know who the Awesome Cast is, they talk about yes, electronics and things like that. So they love it here. So the next move they're going to go to Techo with their content right now, and hopefully they'll bring another folks in for Sangawa. We don't know yet, but it's going to be on the line talking about RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that. So yeah, but yeah, they say thank y'all very much for the experience.
Okay, Jerry's final comment. Anyone else have a Sangawa question before our newly minted escalations folks come up here and tell us what we're allowed to tell you?
Have the dates been released for 2027?
27.
It's a year after this. To be honest,
for Sangawa next year, it will be around the same time. Love to make it later, but really it needs to be as close to 6 months out from Techo as possible, just so people have a chance to ramp up.
If you guys could tell the Setsucon and Katsucon people to maybe pick a different one.
We can't go earlier, just weather gets worse, you know, this is, and then if we go any later, it gets too close to Techo and it impacts people's lead up to July. So it'll be right around the same time every year, venue. So we'll be announcing, I'm hoping to, you know, get that posted sooner than that, so it's being posted, but at the very least, we always like to try and announce by Techo.
I mean, if you were both in Techo were great. I scanned them and I lost them.
Yes. Fingers crossed that happens. We should be good.
That's a me thing.
One other quick thing about I love the capsule thing that was kind of in the corner there. I don't know if it's still there. I love that, but I had to get change at the parlor, which you know is fine. But like I remember when I was getting there, they kind of mentioned like, oh, we should do something. They probably already mentioned it to you guys, but just in case you know they forgot or you know it's crazy and con, I just want to mention that they should have change for that available somewhere else because the parlor was kind of swamped and like having to do that and getting change was they were kind of.
Can we stop using change-based machines?
I need to get a new machine.
What if we get, you know that thing, what's the supermarket where you have to put the dime in the yeah, and people have all these contraptions so they can keep the change and still take out we need that for the capsule machine.
Yeah, this one is
I know them. I work with them.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a keychain that is from Melody.
Okay.
Tell them to then email us and they can get a $5 Amazon credit as well, and thank you very much for
We love the mustard band.
So, actually, there is more fun element. So we, again, tried to change things up a little bit. Do we continue, like, for example, the museum? You know, we have the museum. Is that something that's a year-over-year staple, or is that something we kind of rotate out and try different new things year over year?
Different museums each year get fresh, but like rotating for different types of museums would be fascinating.
So, but again, as many know, it's the Sangawa project. We're hoping to try new things going forward.
I was going to say, I've been in conventions for about 10 years, and the museum idea, I think, was one of the most genius years. Keep it.
Okay, so we've already hosted one.
I mean, I thought it was a good idea.
I
You
don't
know,
know.
just didn't really need to say anything.
Should I not
I was
say
impressed with it.
I don't have Facebook. I have no idea.
People need to know where the mediums come from,
So
understand
I
it,
know,
feel
many
it,
of our, if not all,
experience
the
it.
VA line, I think is all out now. Should we post it? I think we did. No, but went one or two, I'm trying to think of what year it is, what month it is. I thought we were, okay, yeah. Yes, relations team.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm told it's good.
Yeah, so I was going to answer what's already been announced and some ideas of what I can kind of go on. So I'm Vincent. I work in guest relations. I also work with social media right now. At this time for VAs, what's really been tried is a lot of constantly trying to announce things early. So you've probably seen at this point, I believe we have like 4 or 5 VAs announced at this point. Only thing I'm really going to say is we do have at least another announcement that will be coming up by end of month when it comes to VAs, so please do keep an eye out on our socials. The other thing is that we are also, as you probably saw, you know, this year of Sangawa, we are trying some new things with guests, trying new types of guests, trying to get some things that maybe are a bit, you know, newer things that didn't exist years ago, like VTubers and stuff. So, especially on Techo, we are going to have 2 guest announcements this week. So I can't necessarily say who they are. I can say one of them is someone that many of you have probably seen before at our events, and is someone who has become very, very popular, and people are very, very excited about, and they're very excited to come back to see everyone. And the other one is someone brand new that we haven't really had a guest like this at Techo of this scale. We did kind of this year at Sangawa, but they are going to be someone who's very, very big, and I think it's going to make a lot of people excited to have. And that one, you know, just keep an eye out this weekend on socials to, you know, see who has their sights locked on Techo this year. So, and then just going to quickly introduce Olivia. She's kind of helping out running guest relations and really trying to make it so that a lot of the guests that we bring in, we know we're trying new things. We're trying guests that do different types of things and also like do all different types of content. So.
Thanks, Vincent. Yeah, so I'm Olivia. Guest relations. They said manager. I've been calling myself director. I hope that's okay. To just kind of piggyback off of what Vincent said, we've been trying out a lot of new, different guests who do different types of content, right? So we have like our staples, like the VAs. We are still working on our staples, you know, with regards to like EDM show, you know, other things like that. So you can still expect those things, but yes, to Vincent's point, we are trying to do different things. Project Melody was a really, really big leap of faith for us. We're really happy that her and her team put their trust in us to give us a try, because up till now, she's really only been in coastal cons, and I don't think she's ever had an Eastern United States appearance. This actually, I think, may have been her first, and we are potentially the first to do a meet and greet with a VTuber here in Pittsburgh. So that's really exciting. And so we want to continue to explore that medium. And so to Vincent's point, the guest that will be announced in next weekend-ish, I think you'll you'll, be surprised and hopefully excited to see that person just as much as everyone was excited to come and see Melody. And actually too, I really want to hear like what your experience was with meeting Melody, like for those of you who attended. It is very different, right? And I'm sure as someone who hasn't interacted with VTubers very much, it was probably very, very different. So I hope it was a positive experience, and obviously you're always more than welcome to come tell me what your thoughts were, how you think things could be like different, things like that. I'm always open to, different types of feedback and things like that. So, trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think especially I'll say for like things like music, there's going to be a lot of cool surprises in the store. I obviously can't say very much, but I think you guys will all be excited. We're trying lots of new things, and we're collaborating as a team.
You really can't tell them anything? There's not one secret thing we can tell them?
We can elaborate on a little bit. All right, I've been doing this. So we tried some things last year. Like Thursday night content and stuff. Like we're hoping to expand Thursday quite a bit, and not just quality, but quantity. Starting content earlier in the day, running some last minute things in the evening, like some icebreaker stuff, some rooftop stuff. Taking advantage of the space a little better, trying some different things, going some different directions, genres, but also open it up a little bit,
Expand and carve new paths forward.
Exactly.
Yes.
So and it's it's we've never been stuck on like we're not a fashion con, as some have said in the past, and things like that. But like we
some of the best fashion content on the
right, that is true. I guess we are, and then some. But like and that's the thing is that right now we talk about the YouTube content. That team is really, we had a really great meeting this weekend, and it was really just we really want to do all this, but we're not trying to do it. We just got everybody in the same room together to figure out a path forward, and that's how fashion started. Josh and I met with Sarah way back when at the time, and she had a 7-8 page presentation to get fashion started for us, and it's just really blown up over the years. That's kind of how most things have started here. The music is kind of the next step forward. Luminance and have really done a lot to diversify some of our options and things along those lines, so we're really able to take advantage of that. And now I will say that we're hoping to have some announcements at this point, but we've kind of like they've been waiting on me for a lot of things, some financial approvals and things like that from the team and stuff, but I think
we're pretty close to
we're really close
closing in on, especially I will say, the EM stuff.
Yeah.
That one is pretty close to being done. So, and that one's gonna be really exciting. I think you guys are gonna like it a lot. So.
Not a lot of them.
Okay. Sideways. Oh, okay. Oopsies. I see. Okay, yeah. So I guess in terms of like already announced voice actors, we have Kaiji Tang, Annie Yatko, Kaylee McKee. We're gonna really mess up these names, I feel like. Amberly Connors, Brittany Karbowaski. Thank you. And yeah, that's for now. Yes.
So some names obviously you may remember from past echoes. The nice thing about having such a large roster of guests from the VA side is that we have the benefit of bringing some back that have done some bigger roles since they were last year, but we also really try to bring newer VAs too. Some that like they're right on the verge of having that one big role, or they've done a bunch of support roles. So we're still really trying to diversify not only the types of voices we're bringing, but the types of characters that they represent. So that's still like our long-term goal on the VA side, and it's starting to translate also to music, to our EDM, to everything.
All the things.
Not
Yeah.
EDM is not music.
I have a question, because a lot of times when we talk about, let's talk a little bit about tech, guests is the first thing that comes to mind, even for, up here, and folks in the audience. How many of you are the one of the deciding factors of if you go to TechCo and what days you go is based on our guest lineup? All right, none of you. See, we don't need guests.
I would argue against that.
So
They complement each other, right? Because here's the thing: you have community they bring them in, they come to the community, they lock in, and that's the flywheel. Right?
So when Justin and I first got into this a very long time ago, one of the things that the organization was somewhat lacking was a business model. And we decided way back then we're going to try and keep costs as low as possible. And we're going to try to provide as much content so that at the end of the week you're like, damn, I didn't get to do everything. I have to go back next year. And that's kind of what we've done. We actually had people complain, why do you have so many calendars? That's no joke. Somebody complains, you have calendars. I go, okay. And if you look at the number of panel rooms, you look at events that are 2-3 times our size, sometimes less.
If you take the amount of programming hours at New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con and Otakon and add them together, it approximately equals the amount of content hours we offer at TechCo.
But and to what we've been talking about as far as Richmond goes, one of the things that we've really enjoyed, the number of cosplayers have come in and said, oh, I didn't really understand what the lead was, but I'm way into it now. Where to introduce things to people, like Project No is a great example. The number of people that were here were like, I didn't even know what a feature was. We have, these are great conversations to have where we get to introduce, I'm going to say nerd culture to other nerd culture and meeting of the minds, and it's fun. It's, a lot of why people volunteer to support the things that they do is to grow and do things in that vein. So if you have ideas and you're passionate about something and you want to start your own department, you let us know.
If you don't have ideas and you still want to start your own department,
Please help. Please help. But I will say too that some of my broader vision, so also for some context about me, I went to TechCo in the TechCo show days as a teenager. Yes. So I have been around the block a little bit. I've made my first cosplay by going with my grandmother to a Goodwill and putting a bunch of stuff together and just being Rabby and Rose from DigiCare. That was my very first cosplay, right? And trying to sew things on my own. Yeah, it was cute for what it was, right? So, and then I went off to college and did all these other things. I speak Japanese. I lived in New York City for a while, and then I came back, and I got back into TechCo because a friend of mine told me that they were having dinner with the husband of a singer I really like, and I was like, well, why am I not doing this? And so that's when I was like, I want to volunteer, and then now I've opened this whole world where it's like I can connect with Japanese music, which is my true passion, in a way that I don't think I could have ever imagined, right? And so for me and my goal and my broader vision is I really want, obviously I love the community parts, that's the important part, that's the reason why I'm even still here today, right? But I want to give everybody the experience of meeting somebody from Japan, a famous artist, whatever, and having that moment and having that really unique, bespoke experience that you just can't get anywhere else. And I hope we, as guest relations, can provide that to you all, and I'm striving for that every day. So, yes.
And ultimately, our job is to make sure people don't get burned out. No names, just
people. Yeah. But I will say too, we did try out Project Melody, and that was a 7-month journey to get her from initial reach out to where she was yesterday, right, where she was in front of all of you guys. And I really also want to shout out the team, everybody who helped to make her appearance possible last night, because it was a lot of work and tricky, but we did it. And I hope that we can bring more experiences like that for you guys. I'm going to do the best I can, and I'll always listen to your ideas and feedback. I can't make any promises, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's not a matter of network or reach. Sometimes it's just a matter of money. There's a lot of people who are closer than you think. So, hopefully we can figure it out and get some really knock it out of the park people. And
so what I'm hearing here is you got away from TechCo, and then there was an opportunity for free food. And
no, not the free food. No, not free food. I'm vegan. You forget this too. Around here, it's not vegan. No, it's really been great, and lots of fun things to come. Please stay tuned. I don't want to get spoiled yet. You'll just wait. The wait will be worth it, I promise.
Subscribe to our socials.
Subscribe to the socials. Subscribe to the socials.
I'm not gonna do that. It's a thing. You can still register. You see Elijah about 10 feet away from you. He is the travel agent who's coordinating everything. So we did have a meeting yesterday about the cruise and what was going to happen on the cruise, and there's a few additional perks that I think we didn't advertise anywhere because we didn't know if they would come together that we'll be putting out in the next, I don't know, few weeks or month or something. But there are spaces available. When is the cruise?
Or something. Should we have better prepared a little bit? Like, we're gonna send you information sometime, and for this event that's happening
April 9th to the 13th, and if you're wanting any other information, Elijah already emailed it to you, so make sure you check your email before asking him in the middle of the meeting. Yes, I do want you to do that.
People ask me if I'm going on a cruise, and I went on cruises when most of you were in the bathtub playing with toy boats. So.
Tucko's going on our first cruise April 9th. They are leaving from Florida. If you are interested, I highly recommend reaching out to Elijah over there. There is a Facebook group as well for those who are interested and for those who are going. We do not have guests, but we do have plenty of fun things planned, including scavenger hunts, karaoke. We're looking at bar crawls. There will be cosplay opportunities. We're looking for a cosplay photo shoot on the beach, and also cosplay photo shoots from the deck of the ship as well. If you've never been on a cruise ship, there's no question that you need to be worried about asking, because if you don't know, you don't know, as Justin always puts it for us. So whether it's a good chance travel, it's going through the Bahamas, and if you've got questions, reach out to us. We hope to see you there. Yes, Taco's Tropical Voyage.
For those that may not have gone on a cruise, even if you're not doing this one, highly encourage it, especially if it's somewhere that you're interested in going to. Like I've been a number of just food, the people, the things you do. I've done Mediterranean cruise with my wife and things like that, but it's an experience that is just different. You know, being able to go other places and do other things, and then just the captive entertainment value of being on the boat itself. It is like being at a con, especially if you're there with kind of people that are like-minded.
It is like being at a con, except sometimes you can't get off, or you are abandoned in a different country.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Can't get off.
Although I will say sometimes when I leave the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, I get to Liberty Avenue and I'm like, is this a different country? What's happening? Okay, other questions? Other comments?
We're gonna watch the Super Bowl upstairs.
Y'all should talk, you know. Yeah. It sounds like we could add another hour of content.
Yes?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You know, they always say that, like, but it's 4:12 right now, so it's not 5 o'clock somewhere. It's something 12.
So if you do have anything else and you didn't want to speak up, you're welcome to come up. We'll be here for a while. And please, for those that are traveling extensively, be safe. Be safe.
Oh, you could have stopped and driving back home.
Nothing but backwards going back. Yep. Alright, so Justin, you ready for our next meeting?
Is the next meeting me and this the man from Jet's Pizza?
I mean, it's
Wait, we have an actual meeting. This is the closing. That's it. Why did we schedule things after this?
This is payback for having me have to have a meeting with Dylan telling me.
Okay, first of all, Harley was responsible for telling you, not me.
I don't know why nobody reads my mind.
So now, I will say this.
Glenn lied to me and we are.
We'll mention something about the event and scheduling. It doesn't auto-refresh. It pisses me. Like, people kept scheduling things last minute. I'm trying to, I don't have anything scheduled for like 2 hours. I'm like,
They
hey,
fixed the day overlap problem, which was the biggest issue.
They are also redeveloping the app.
But like literally, when
They need to reread it.
it would only show the next day.
oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, that. Now, I will say this, the one thing that infuriating, you can't scroll without accidentally selecting content. Oh my god!
I thought I just had fat fingers.
So just so you know, we've had these conversations with the veterans many times. They are very aware of the limitations of the tool.
All right. Well, I think we have come to the end, so I will say thank you all for coming.